Okay, guys, happy Monday. Hey, I want to keep us up to speed on this, and I'm off today for the playoffs to prepare for the game on Friday. So I didn't want to just give you something to keep you busy in class. So we're going to continue taking notes here. My camera is not working, so you don't get to see me. So I'm just going to get rid of that, and we'll take the notes on the next two questions on the Cold War. All right, we've been learning about this thing. We know that it's the United States and the Soviet Union. We know that the United States want to spread democracy and capitalism around the world, and the Soviet Union wants to spread the opposite of that. All right, dictatorship, oppressive regimes, and mainly the thing we have a problem with is this communism thing. All right, that they want to spread around the world. Okay, so this is a huge one. Highlight this in your notes, underline it. All right, this is a huge word. This is very important. This is going to be our policy towards the spread of communism for the next 45 years. All right, it's called containment. All right, so what the neat thing about with video notes too, you guys can pause me anytime you want to catch up on writing down your notes. You can go back and watch it again if you need to clarify anything. So what was the U.S. policy of containment? All right, the United States knew that communism could not be defeated easily, all right? And so we're going to take this approach to the spread of communism because communism was very, very appealing at this time in our history, in both inside the United States and especially around the world. All right, in third world nations, communism looks appealing to any country that is poor, to any person that is poor, even to the middle class, and we just got through the Great Depression, so did the world. And after World War II, all of these new countries are like new babies, and they get to decide how they're going to be. All right. And so we knew communism couldn't be defeated easily. We also knew that the Soviet Union, our nemesis now, our enemy, planned to spread communism worldwide. In order for communism to work effectively, it has to be a worldwide workers' revolution. It can't be half and half. And so they are going to be on a mission to spread communism around the world. All right. The United States also recognized that there were spots in the world that are already lost to communism. All right, they're already fell to communism. So we're going to compare this a lot to something we all lived through. We're going to treat communism like a disease, kind of like COVID. Okay, we know what that was like. We knew, the how we had to live through that, and how we treated COVID and how we treat any contagious disease is how we are going to treat communism. All right. So what containment is, what this policy is that we are going to resist any further spread of communism. All right. So any place that communism tries to spread to it, we're going to do things to keep that from happening. All right. Kind of like we did with COVID, how we treated those who already had it, how we made sure that it didn't spread to other places by keeping separation, by quarantining, things like that. We're going to treat communism the same way. There are parts of the world, especially in Eastern Europe, right? The Iron Curtain, all behind the Iron Curtain is already lost. All right, we can't do anything about that. Once somebody got COVID, there was no medicine to treat it, right? There was no flipping of the switch or any pills that you could take that got rid of it. You just had to deal with it. And so we're going to treat communism the same way. We're going to stop its spread, and we're going to leave it alone where it already is. All right. So in places where it already is, we are essentially going to kind of quarantine it. All right, and leave it alone and keep it only to there. When we went through COVID, that's what we had to deal with, right? If you got it, you were going to be quarantined so that you didn't have contact with anybody else and spread it. We are going to try and quarantine or contain communism in much the same way. Any place that has already fallen to communism, we're going to leave it alone. All right, we're going to spend our focus on areas that it tries to spread to. Okay. The reason we use containment, because some people say, well, why didn't we just go into Eastern Europe and in behind the Iron Curtain, and why didn't we fight it where it already was? All right. Well, the reason is the United States believed it was going to fail on its own. All right. Military and political leaders said that communism contains within itself the seeds of its own decay. What that means is it's a flawed system, it's a failed system, and eventually the populations living in communist societies are going to rebel. They're going to revolt. They're not going to be happy. It sounds like a great utopian idea that everybody is middle class. Unfortunately, human beings don't want to just be middle class. They want to be rewarded for their efforts. They want to be rewarded for their hard work. All right, human beings want to be rewarded, and so it is going to lead to a because of a lack of innovation. All right, no incentive for innovation. Communist societies are going to crumble. Just imagine that in America, people are working on at Apple, for example, the new iPhone or the new apps and things like that. It's not for your benefit, and it's not for the betterment of mankind or society. It's for profit. They want to make money, and so if there is no incentive or innovation, to make money, to get rich, to thrive, and to succeed, then eventually people stop working hard. And eventually people stop inventing and stop innovating. Okay. So we believe it's going to fail, and we're right. It will fail. We just maybe didn't anticipate how long it'll take for it to fail, because it's going to take 45 years. Okay. Last one we'll do today, the Truman Doctrine. What was the Truman Doctrine? All right. Obviously, this is going to be named after President Truman. Okay. And it's going to be because of, as I've talked about, all these baby countries, these new countries that are developing after World War II. A lot of them are going to have civil wars. And what they're fighting about is whether or not they should be capitalists and democratic like us, or they should be communists and have a dictatorship like the Soviet Union. And both sides are very appealing, and communism is going to be very appealing, especially to the poverty stricken in those countries. And so Greece and Turkey are two countries that are going to take center stage because they are in Europe, or right next to the Iron Curtain. And so they're going to take our attention here. All right. What is the fight over? I already mentioned this: communism versus democracy and capitalism. Okay. So half the country says we want to be like the United States. We want democracy and capitalism. Half the country, oftentimes it isn't half, it's less than that, say, no, we want this communism thing. We want to try it out. Okay. Now, who had been the leader of the free world prior to World War II? Think about it in your heads. I know I'm not there to ask you for a raise of hands, but it was not the United States. It was our big brother, our big sister, our mother country that we came from. Maybe it's coming to a few of your heads right now, but that was Great Britain. Great Britain had been the leader of the free world. Anytime there was an issue with a democracy in the world, Great Britain had been the country to come to the rescue, or to give aid, all right, or to help out. Okay, here's what this question is all about. All right, well, not there yet. So Great Britain had supported free nations until World War II. Now, after World War II, Great Britain says we got to worry about ourselves. We have to rebuild our country. We've taken our turn as the leader of the free world. We cannot afford, nor do we have the capability to do it any longer. So they are going to pass the baton off to, you guessed it, the United States. All right. Great Britain, kind of like a track, to use a track analogy. This is a relay race. Great Britain is going to hand the baton on to the United States and say, we've taken our turn. United States, it is now your turn. All right. You guys are big dog in town. You guys are going to be the leader of the free world from here on out. Anytime there's an issue with a democracy, a free country in the world, it's up to you guys. All right. The Truman Doctrine is President Truman accepting that role. All right. So that's President Truman essentially accepting the baton and saying, we got this from here. All right. And this is a role that we have held ever since World War II, a role that we still hold today. So if you ever wonder, well, why are we involved in this or that, all around the world? Well, this is part of the reason why. We've accepted that role to be the leader of the free world, to protect democracies, to support capitalism and democracy around the world, something that we still do today. All right. Two impacts of this. So what? Who cares? Well, this is going to lead to greater military spending. It's going to cost America a lot of money to do this. If we're going to be the international police power of the world, we're going to have a big military all the time, not just during wartime, but just ready for any type of issue that might come up in the world. And our presence around the world is going to greatly expand. And also, since World War II, this is going to lead to increased conflicts for the United States. Up until this time, we had only been involved in really two major foreign wars, all right, World War I and World War II. Since World War II, we've been involved in conflicts around the world because of our commitment to defend democracy around the world, all right? So we'll learn about the Korean War. We'll learn about the Vietnam War. We will learn about later down the road, the war on terror and Desert Storm and things like that. Okay, so that comes from this time period. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll pick up on section 2, talk about some early Cold War events tomorrow. Have a great day.